The stars looked cold through the ship's window. Commander Jack Morrison had been staring at them for 20 minutes. His coffee had gone cold in his hand. The bridge of the human warship Vengeance was quiet except for the soft beeping of computers. "Commander, we have something." Lisa Carter's voice broke the silence. She was his first officer, a woman with short brown hair and tired eyes. She held a data pad in her hand. Jack turned from the window. "What is it?" The archaeological team finished their scan of Kepler 452b. "You need to see this." Jack took the data pad. The screen showed energy readings, numbers, and charts. At first, it looked like any other report. Then he saw the signature pattern at the bottom. His hand tightened on the pad. "This can't be right," he said. "I checked it 3 times, sir. The computer checked it 10 times. It's the same energy signature." Jack looked at the pattern again. He had seen it before. Every human child learned about this pattern in school. It was the signature of the weapon that destroyed Earth 3,000 years ago. The door to the bridge opened. Dr. Alex Turner walked in. He was an older man with gray hair and glasses. His face looked worried. "Commander, I need to speak with you about the ruins," Alex said. "The energy signature?" Jack asked. "Yes, but there's more." Alex moved to the main screen. He pressed some buttons and images appeared. The pictures showed burned ground and melted rocks. "These aren't just any ruins. This was a test site." Lisa stepped closer to the screen. "A test site for what?" "For the weapon they used on Earth." Alex changed the image. Now it showed a comparison between the Kepler 452b ruins and old Earth data. "Look at the burn patterns, the radiation levels, the quantum distortion. It's all the same." Jack put down his coffee mug. His hands were shaking slightly. "You're saying the Zarathi tested their planet killer here before they used it on Earth?" "That's exactly what I'm saying." Alex brought up more data. "And this planet wasn't empty when they tested it. We found traces of an advanced civilization, cities, technology, culture, all gone in minutes." The bridge fell silent. Everyone knew the story of Earth's destruction. How the Zarathi Empire had appeared in Earth's sky one day and fired their Nova bomb. How the planet had burned while the last humans escaped in generation ships. How humanity had wandered the stars for 3,000 years, looking for a new home and for answers. "How many?" Jack's voice was quiet. "How many what?" Alex asked. "How many worlds did they test this weapon on?" Alex pressed more buttons. A star map appeared with several systems marked in red. "At least 7. All had intelligent life, all destroyed. Earth was just the last one." Lieutenant Sam Brooks, the navigation officer, spoke up. "Sir, if these ruins match Earth's destruction, then we can track the Zarathi fleet's path. We can find where they went after Earth." Jack nodded. "Do it. I want to know where they are now." The crew worked quickly. Fingers flew over keyboards. Data streams filled the screens. Within minutes, they had a trail. "Got it?" Sam said. "The energy trail leads to the Vega system, 40 light-years from here. That's deep in Zarathi space," Lisa noted. Jack walked to the captain's chair and sat down. "Send a message to Admiral Blake. Tell her we found them. Tell her we found the ones who burned Earth." "Yes, sir." The communications officer, Tony Miller, began typing. "And Tony," Jack added, "send it priority 1, encrypted. This is what we've been searching for." While Tony worked, Jack thought about the generations of humans who had lived and died on the fleet ships. His own great-grandmother had been born on one. She had never seen Earth, but she had told him stories about it. Blue oceans, green forests, cities that touched the clouds. All gone because the Zarathi decided humans were a threat. "Message sent, Commander," Tony reported. "Good. Now we wait." Jack leaned back in his chair. They didn't have to wait long. Within an hour, Admiral Susan Blake's face appeared on the main screen. She was a strong woman with steel-gray hair and hard eyes. "Commander Morrison, is this confirmed?" she asked. "Yes, Admiral." Dr. Turner verified it personally. "The energy signatures match. We found their testing grounds." Admiral Blake's expression didn't change, but Jack saw something in her eyes. Hope, maybe. Or anger. How far are they? 40 light years? The Vega system, deep in their territory. Can you track their current positions? Alex stepped forward. Admiral, we can do better than that. The quantum resonance from their weapons leaves a unique trail. We can track every ship that participated in Earth's destruction. Now the Admiral smiled. It wasn't a pleasant smile. Do it. I want to know where every one of those ships is now. There's more, Admiral, Jack said. They didn't just destroy Earth. They destroyed at least 7 other worlds first, all inhabited. This was a pattern for them. The Admiral's smile faded. 7 worlds. How many billions dead? We're still calculating, Alex said. But initial estimates suggest over 50 billion intelligent beings. Silence filled the bridge. 50 billion lives. Entire civilizations erased. And for what? Commander Morrison, the Admiral said finally. I'm sending you coordinates. Meet the fleet there in 72 hours. It's time. Time for what, Admiral? Time to end our search. Time to find justice for Earth and those 7 worlds. Time to show the Zarathi that humanity remembers. The screen went dark. Jack stood up and faced his crew. You heard the Admiral. Set course for the coordinates, maximum speed. Yes, sir. The crew responded together. As the ship turned and jumped to faster than light speed, Jack returned to the window. The stars blurred into lines of light. Somewhere out there, the Zarathi Empire waited. They probably didn't even remember destroying Earth. To them, it was just another conquered world, another threat eliminated. But humanity remembered. For 3,000 years, they had remembered. Every child learned the story. Every adult carried the weight of it. Earth was gone, but its children lived on, and now finally they had found the ones responsible. Dr. Turner stood beside Jack at the window. Do you think they'll remember us? The Zarathi? Probably not. We were just primitives to them. A minor threat removed. They'll remember us soon. Enough, Lisa said from behind them. Jack nodded. The humans had changed in 3,000 years. They had learned, they had grown, they had developed technologies the Zarathi couldn't imagine, all for this moment. Commander, Sam called out, long-range sensors are picking up Zarathi patrols. They haven't detected us yet. Keep us hidden. We're not ready to announce ourselves, yet. The ship flew on through the darkness. In 3 days they would meet the fleet. Admiral Blake would give the order, and then, after 3,000 years of waiting, humanity would have its answer to the burning of Earth. Jack picked up his cold coffee and took a sip. It tasted bitter, but he didn't mind. Some things were worth waiting for. Justice was one of them. As the stars streaked past the window, Jack thought about his great-grandmother again. She had died hoping humanity would find Earth's killers. Now they had. The waiting was almost over. The hunt was ending. The reckoning was about to begin. The human fleet gathered at the edge of Zarathi space like wolves circling their prey. 300 ships floated in the darkness, their lights off, their weapons ready. Admiral Susan Blake stood on the bridge of the flagship Phoenix Rising, watching the other ships arrive. All ships accounted for, Admiral, reported Captain Ryan Mitchell. He was a tall man with a scar across his left cheek. The entire fleet is here. Susan nodded. Good. Begin the briefing. The main screen lit up, showing the faces of every ship commander in the fleet. Jack Morrison was there, along with dozens of others. They all looked ready. Commanders, Susan began, for 3,000 years we have searched. Today, that search ends. We have found the Zarathi Empire. We have found the ones who burned Earth. The faces on the screen showed no emotion, but Susan could feel their energy. This was the moment they had trained for all their lives. But we're not going in blind, she continued. Captain Mitchell will lead a reconnaissance mission first. We need to know their defenses, their numbers, their weaknesses. Ryan stepped forward. I'll take a stealth ship with a small team. We'll get close, gather intelligence, and report back. Who's on your team? Asked Commander Morrison from his screen. Lieutenant Emma Davis, our best infiltration specialist. Sergeant Carlos Rodriguez, weapons expert, and Dr. Kevin Zhang, our xenobiologist. We need to understand the Zarathi better. Susan approved. You have 48 hours. Get in, get the information, and get out. Don't engage unless absolutely necessary. Understood, Admiral. The meeting ended, and Ryan gathered his team. They met in the stealth ship Shadow, a small black vessel designed to be invisible to sensors. Emma Davis was already checking her equipment. She was young, maybe 25, with quick hands and clever eyes. I've studied everything we have on Zarathi technology, she said. Their sensors haven't changed much in 3,000 years. Carlos Rodriguez laughed. He was a big man with dark hair and strong arms. That's their mistake. We've done nothing but improve for 3,000 years. Dr. Kevin Zhang was quieter. He adjusted his glasses and looked at his datapad. The Zarathi are insectoid. They think in hive patterns. Individual thought is rare among them. That's important to remember. Ryan nodded. Tell us more as we travel. Right now we launch. The Shadow slipped away from the fleet, its stealth systems active. It moved through space like a ghost, approaching Zarathi territory carefully. 2 days later, they reached the edge of the Zarathi Empire. The first thing they saw surprised them all. Look at that, Emma whispered. Before them floated a massive space station. It was old, parts of it rusted and broken. Zarathi ships moved around it lazily, like bees around a dying hive. Their defense station? Carlos asked. If it is, they're not taking it seriously, Ryan observed. Look at those patrol patterns. They're sloppy. Kevin studied his screens. I'm reading minimal power signatures. Most of their weapon systems are offline. They moved closer, the Shadow's stealth systems keeping them hidden. What they found over the next day shocked them even more. The Zarathi Empire was fat and lazy. Their military bases were run down. Their ships were old. Their soldiers looked bored and undertrained. They've grown comfortable, Ryan said during a team meeting. They haven't faced a real threat in millennia. Their records confirm it, Kevin added. He had hacked into their data networks. Listen to this. Their historical files barely mention Earth. To them, we were minor primitives eliminated in year 7834 of the Empire. That's it. One line in their history. Emma's face hardened. They don't even remember us. Good, Carlos said. That means they won't expect us. They spent another day gathering information. The stealth ship moved from system to system, invisible and silent. They mapped defenses, counted ships, identified weaknesses. Ryan called Admiral Blake with their report. Her face appeared on the secure channel. What did you find, Captain? Admiral, they're not ready for us. Their empire is huge but hollow. They have the same weapons they used 3,000 years ago. No improvements, no upgrades. And their numbers? About 5,000 ships total, but spread across hundreds of worlds. Most are patrol vessels. Only about 500 are true warships. Susan smiled. We have 300 of our best, each one worth 10 of theirs. There's more, Ryan continued. We found their weapons depot. The Nova bombs they used on Earth. They still have them, hundreds of them. But the security is minimal. Can we take them out? Easily. They've forgotten what it means to be at war. Back on the Phoenix Rising, Susan called her senior staff together. General Robert Taylor commanded the ground forces. He was an older man, built like a mountain. My Marines are ready, just give the word. Captain Amy Chen ran intelligence operations. She was small but sharp like a blade. Our cyber weapons are prepared. We can shut down their communications in minutes. Commander Bill Murphy handled logistics. He was the kind of man who made sure everyone had ammunition and food. All ships are fully supplied. We can sustain combat operations for months. Susan looked at them all. The Zarathi have forgotten us. They think they're safe. They think no one remembers what they did to Earth and those other worlds. They're wrong, Robert growled. Yes, they are. Susan activated the fleet-wide communication. Every human ship received her words. All commanders, prepare your crews. In 24 hours, we remind the galaxy that humanity remembers. We remind them that burning worlds has consequences. The fleet began to move. Ships that had been dark powered up their engines. Weapon systems came online. 3,000 years of preparation was about to be put to use. On the stealth ship, Ryan and his team watched the Zarathi continue their lazy patrols. The aliens had no idea what was coming. "Look at them," Emma said. "They think they're the masters of the galaxy." "They were," Kevin corrected. 3,000 years ago, they were. They destroyed anyone who might challenge them. "Except us," Carlos added. "They didn't destroy us. They just made us angry," Ryan nodded. "And now we're back. Stronger, smarter, united." The team returned to the fleet as the final preparations began. Every human soldier checked their weapon. Every pilot ran diagnostics on their ship. Every commander reviewed the battle plans. In her private quarters, Admiral Blake looked at an old photograph. It showed Earth from space, blue and green and beautiful. The photo was 3,000 years old, passed down through generations. "Soon," she whispered to the picture, "soon we'll have justice for you." The fleet formed up in attack formation, 300 ships carrying humanity's hope and fury. They had spent 3,000 years preparing for this moment. Learning, growing, becoming something the Zarathi could never imagine. The old Earth was gone, but its children had become something greater. They had become the nightmare of those who had wronged them. They had become justice itself, patient and inevitable. The stars watched silently as humanity prepared to return to the galactic stage. The Zarathi Empire would soon learn what Earth's children had become. They would learn that some sins are never forgotten, some crimes can never be forgiven, and some victims refuse to stay victims forever. Dawn came to Zarathi Prime, though in space there was no real morning. The system's star cast its light on the alien capital world, a planet of tall spires and floating cities. Commander Paul Anderson watched from his fighter's cockpit as his squadron dropped out of hyperspace. "All wings report in," Paul ordered. "Blue wing ready. Red wing ready. Gold wing ready." 30 fighters hung in space above the Zarathi capital. Behind them, the main fleet would arrive in minutes. Paul's job was simple: create chaos. "This is for Earth," he whispered. Then louder, "All wings attack." The fighters dove toward the planet like eagles after prey. The Zarathi defenses were slow to respond. Their orbital platforms powered up, but too late. Human plasma cannons cut through their shields like paper. The first explosion lit up the sky over Zarathi Prime, then another, and another. On the planet's surface, Vextor, the Zarathi Supreme Commander, rushed to his command center. His 4 arms moved frantically as he entered. His compound eyes showed confusion. "What's happening?" he demanded. "Unknown attackers, Supreme Commander. They appeared from nowhere." "Impossible." "Our sensors." Another explosion shook the building. Vexator looked at the tactical display. Small ships were destroying his orbital defenses with frightening efficiency. "Send the fleet. All ships." But the Zarathi fleet was scattered across their empire. Only 100 ships were near the capital. They launched, moving to intercept the attackers. Then the human main fleet arrived. 300 warships dropped out of hyperspace in perfect formation. The Phoenix Rising led them, its guns already charging. Admiral Blake's voice reached every human ship. "All vessels engage. Show them what 3,000 years of preparation looks like." The space above Zarathi Prime became a storm of fire and light. Human ships moved like dancers, coordinated and precise. Zarathi vessels tried to form battle lines, but they were too slow, too surprised. The Vengeance under Jack Morrison carved through enemy formations. Its new shields absorbed Nova bomb blasts that would have destroyed old Earth ships. Its weapons, developed specifically to pierce Zarathi armor, found their marks. "Their shields are failing," Lisa Carter reported. "They can't adapt to our weapons." Jack smiled grimly. "Keep firing. Don't give them time to think." On the ground, Colonel Maria Sanchez led the Marine assault. Drop pods fell like rain, each carrying human soldiers in advanced armor. They landed in the capital city, boots hitting alien streets. "Move out," Maria ordered. "Squad Alpha, take the power station. Squad Bravo, the communication hub. Remember New Sydney. Remember the children." The Marines moved with practiced efficiency. The Zarathi ground forces were brave but unprepared. They still used the same tactics from 3,000 years ago. The humans had spent generations developing counters to every Zarathi move. Plasma. Rifles cut through Zarathi armor. EMP grenades disabled their technology. The Marines pushed forward street by street, building by building. In his command center, Vextor watched his empire's capital burn. His advisors clustered around him, chittering in panic. "Supreme Commander, we must call for reinforcements." "From where?" Vextor snapped. "Our fleet is spread across 500 worlds." "But who are these attackers? Where did they come from?" Vextor studied the tactical data. The attackers' technology was advanced but somehow familiar. Their ship designs were strange but followed known patterns. Then he saw it. The symbol on their hulls. A blue and green sphere. "No," he whispered. "It can't be." He accessed the historical archives, searching for that symbol. There it was, in the ancient records. Earth. The primitive world they had destroyed 3 millennia ago. "The humans," he said. "The humans have returned." His advisors fell silent. They remembered the old reports. How a few human ships had escaped Earth's destruction. They had assumed those refugees had died in deep space. They were wrong. Above the planet, the battle turned into a slaughter. Human ships worked in perfect coordination. Their weapons were designed specifically to exploit Zarathi weaknesses. Their shields could withstand Zarathi fire. Captain Amy Chen coordinated the cyber assault from the Phoenix Rising, initiating viral attack, targeting their communication network. Within seconds, Zarathi ships lost contact with each other. Their coordinated defense fell apart. Each ship fought alone, confused and isolated. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the planet," reported the communications officer. "Put it through." Vextor's insectoid face appeared on screen. His compound eyes reflected fear and confusion. "Why do you attack us? We have no quarrel with your species." Admiral Blake stepped forward. The entire human fleet could hear her response. "No quarrel? You burned our homeworld 3,000 years ago. You scattered us to the void. You murdered billions. Did you think we would forget?" Recognition dawned in Vextor's eyes. The historical records, the ancient reports of Earth's destruction. The primitives, but that was millennia ago. Ancient history. To you, perhaps. To us, it was yesterday. Every human child learns of Earth's burning. Every human lives with that loss. We've waited 3,000 years for this day. But we've changed. The Empire has evolved. Blake's face was stone. "Your weapons are the same. Your methods are the same. You've destroyed 7 other worlds we've found. How many more? How many civilizations have you erased?" Vextor had no answer. The tactical display showed his fleet being torn apart. His ground forces were retreating. His capital burned. "Please," he transmitted. "We can negotiate. We can make reparations." "You can't bring back the dead," Blake replied. "You can't restore burned worlds. All you can do is face justice." The battle continued. Human fighters strafed Zarathi positions. Marine units captured key installations. The space fleet methodically destroyed Zarathi ships. By sunset on Zarathi Prime, the battle was over. The alien capital was under human control. Their defense fleet was scattered wreckage. Vextor was captured, along with the Zarathi leadership. Admiral Blake surveyed the aftermath from her bridge. The cost had been light. 12 human ships damaged, 47 Marines killed. The Zarathi had lost everything. "Admiral," Jack Morrison reported from the surface, "we've secured their weapons facilities. They had 900 Nova bombs in storage, the same type they used on Earth. Disable them all. We're not like them. We don't destroy worlds." "Yes, Admiral. What about the prisoners? Blake considered. They could execute the Zarathi leadership. Many in the fleet wanted that, but humanity had evolved beyond simple revenge. Hold them for trial. The galaxy will witness justice, not vengeance. As night fell on Zarathi Prime, human ships patrolled the skies. The empire that had terrorized the galaxy for millennia had fallen in a single day. But this was just the beginning. Word of the battle spread across the stars. Other species watched in amazement as humanity, thought extinct, returned with terrible purpose. The Zarathi Empire's other worlds prepared for similar attacks. They would not have to wait long. The human fleet was already moving, dividing into strike groups. Each group had a list of Zarathi worlds. Each commander had the same orders: neutralize their military, free their slaves, bring their leaders to justice. In her cabin that night, Admiral Blake looked again at the old photo of Earth. "We've started," she told it. "They'll pay for what they did. Not with their worlds, we're better than that, but with their empire, with their power, with their pride." The stars outside her window seemed to shine brighter. After 3,000 years, humanity was back, and the galaxy would never be the same. Dr. Jennifer Williams pushed her glasses up her nose as she studied the Zarathi data archives. She had been working for 3 days straight, sleeping only when her eyes refused to stay open. The captured alien computers held thousands of years of records. "Coffee?" offered Lieutenant Chris Baker. He was part of the security team guarding the research facility on the captured Zarathi space station. "Thanks." Jennifer took the cup gratefully. "I'm finding something strange in these files." "Strange? How?" Jennifer turned her screen toward him. "Look at this. Earth's destruction wasn't just a Zarathi decision. There are references to something called the Galactic Council." Chris frowned. "Never heard of it." Neither had I. But according to these records, the Zarathi were following orders. The news was important enough to wake Admiral Blake. Within an hour, Jennifer found herself in a secure conference room with the Admiral and her senior staff. "Show me what you found," Blake ordered. Jennifer connected her datapad to the main screen. "Here, Galactic Council Directive 4471. Subject, the human problem." The room fell silent as they read the ancient document. It was formal, cold, clinical. It discussed humanity like scientists discussing bacteria. "The species known as humans displays aggressive tendencies incompatible with galactic peace," Blake read aloud. "Their rapid technological advancement coupled with violent history makes them a threat to established order." General Robert Taylor slammed his fist on the table. "They decided we were too dangerous? Who gave them that right?" Jennifer continued scrolling. "It gets worse. Look at the vote count. 43 species voted for our destruction. Only 12 voted against. 43 species wanted us dead?" Captain Amy Chen asked quietly. "Not just wanted. They ordered it. The Zarathi were just the ones who carried it out." Jennifer pulled up more files. "And we weren't the first. Look, the Altarians destroyed in year 6892, the Vegans, year 7234, the Centauri Collective, year 7671. All judged too aggressive by this council." Blake stood up slowly. "How many total?" Jennifer's fingers moved over her pad. 17 species ordered destroyed. All showed signs of rapid technological growth and military capability. The council called it preventive peacekeeping. The room erupted in angry voices. Blake raised her hand for silence. "Where is this council now?" she asked. "Still active," Jennifer replied. "They meet on a space station in the Andromeda sector. According to these records, they still make these decisions. There might be species being judged right now." Captain Steve Johnson, who led the Cyber Warfare Division, leaned forward. "Admiral, I've been tracking Zarathi communications. They've been sending messages to someone called the High Arbiters. That must be the council leadership." "What kind of messages?" "Requests for help. They're begging the council to intervene against us." Blake smiled coldly. "Let them beg. Jennifer, I want everything you can find about this council. Members, location, defenses, everything. Over the next week, the picture became clearer. The Galactic Council was old, older than the Zarathi Empire. They saw themselves as the guardians of peace, maintaining order by eliminating potential threats before they could grow strong. The council was led by three ancient species: the Zephyrians, beings of pure energy, the crystalline collective, silicon-based life forms, and the temporal syndicate, who claimed to see possible futures. They predict which species might become aggressive, Jennifer explained to the assembled commanders. Then they order their destruction. They've been doing this for 10,000 years. Commander Bill Murphy shook his head. They're not keeping peace. They're maintaining stagnation. No species can grow or change. Exactly, Blake agreed. And now we know why the galaxy is so static. Why technology barely advances. They kill anyone who might shake things up. The fleet continued its campaign against the Zarathi while this new information was processed. World after world fell to human forces, but now the victories felt different. The Zarathi were still guilty, but they were also tools of a larger evil. 2 months after the first strike, a message arrived from the Galactic Council. Admiral Blake gathered her staff to watch it. The screen showed 3 figures: a Zephyrian, looking like a column of blue light; a crystalline, its faceted body reflecting rainbow colors; and a temporal, wrapped in shadows that seemed to move independently. Humans, the Zephyrian spoke, its voice like wind chimes. You have violated galactic law. Cease your aggression immediately. Blake stood tall. Galactic law? You mean the law that sentenced our species to death? The law that has murdered 17 civilizations? You do not understand, the crystalline's voice was like grinding glass. We maintain peace. Without us, the galaxy would burn in endless wars. You maintain control, Blake corrected. You keep the galaxy weak and stagnant. You fear change, so you kill anyone who might bring it. The temporal spoke last, its voice echoing from past and future. We see the possibilities. We know what species like yours become. Conquerors, destroyers. We act to prevent that future. You create that future, Blake shot back. By trying to destroy us, you made us what we are. We might have been peaceful partners. Instead, you made us survivors. You made us strong. Submit to council authority, the Zephyrian commanded. Or, face the combined might of 43 species. Blake smiled. We've been facing that for 3,000 years. We survived. We grew. We learned. Your time is over. The transmission ended. Blake turned to her staff. They'll come for us now, General Taylor said. Let them, Blake replied. We've been preparing for 3,000 years. They've been sitting comfortable, thinking they're safe. She activated the fleet-wide communication. All human forces. This is Admiral Blake. We've learned the truth. Earth's destruction was ordered by a corrupt council that has murdered 17 species. They think they can threaten us into submission. They're wrong. She paused, looking at each of her commanders. Phase 2 begins now. We don't just defeat the Zarathi. We free the galaxy from these tyrants. Every species they've oppressed, every civilization they've held back, they'll all be free. The response was immediate. From every human ship came the same cry. For Earth, for freedom, for justice. Steve, Blake turned to Captain Johnson. I want cyber attacks on every council world. Amy, infiltrate their intelligence networks. Robert, prepare your Marines for the biggest assault in human history. Where do we strike first? Robert asked. Blake brought up the star map. Their space station, the seat of their power. But first, we send a message to every species in the galaxy. Let them know the truth about their protectors. Let them know humanity has returned. The room buzzed with activity as plans were made. The war had expanded. It wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about freedom for the entire galaxy. In her private moment later, Blake looked at the old Earth photo again. We understand now, she whispered. They feared us because we could expose them, because we wouldn't accept their control. They were right to fear us. Outside, human ships prepared for the greatest battle in galactic history. The Zarathi Empire was crumbling. The Galactic Council was gathering its forces. And in between stood humanity. No longer victims, no longer refugees, but liberators. The galaxy would learn what Earth's children had become. Not conquerors, as the Council feared, not destroyers, but breakers of chains, enders of tyranny. The Council had created its own worst enemy, a species that knew the pain of injustice and would stop at nothing to prevent others from suffering the same fate. The keen stars waited. The battle was coming, and this time humanity wouldn't fight alone. The final battle began not with explosions, but with whispers. Across the galaxy, on 1,000 worlds, beings read the message humanity had sent. The truth about the Galactic Council spread like wildfire. Commander Nicole Parker stood on the bridge of the Vanguard ship Liberty's Light. Around her, the combined fleet prepared for battle. Not just human ships now. Vessels from 12 different species had joined them. The Altarian rebels have arrived, her tactical officer reported. 40 ships. The Vegan resistance is here too, added another. 60 ships. Nicole smiled. These were species who had lived under the Council's control for millennia. Now they knew the truth about their masters. They had come to fight. Above the Galactic Council's massive space station, the largest fleet in galactic history assembled. 3,000 ships from across the stars, all united by one purpose, ending the Council's reign of terror. Admiral Blake's voice reached every ship. Today we don't fight just for Earth, we fight for every world destroyed, every species murdered, every future stolen. Today the galaxy becomes free. The Council had not been idle. Around their station 1,000 ships waited. The elite forces of the ruling species, armed with the best weapons in the galaxy, but they had not evolved. They had not grown. They had been comfortable for too long. All ships, Blake commanded, execute Operation Prometheus. The battle erupted like a supernova. Human ships led the charge, their shields absorbing fire that would have destroyed the old Earth vessels. The rebel fleets followed, inspired by humanity's courage. Commander Parker's squadron punched through the Council's first defense line. Target their command ships, don't let them coordinate. The strange thing about the battle was how one-sided it became. The Council forces fought well, but they used ancient tactics. The humans and their allies used strategies developed through pain and loss. They fought like people who had everything to gain. On the Council station, the 3 High Arbiters watched their fleet crumble. The Zephyrian flickered with agitation. The Crystalline's body flashed angry red. The Temporal seemed to fade in and out of existence. Impossible, the Zephyrian hissed. We saw all futures. This cannot be. You saw what you wanted to see, the Temporal admitted. We became blind to change. We feared it so much we couldn't see it coming. Below them, Council members from 43 species argued and panicked. Some tried to flee. Others called for more ships. A few sat in silence, perhaps realizing their time was over. The human marine assault began 2 hours into the battle. Drop pods and boarding craft hit the station like arrows. Colonel Maria Sanchez led from the front, as always. Secure the Council chambers, she ordered. Take the Arbiters alive if possible. They need to face trial. The Marines moved through the station's corridors. The Council's guards fought, but they were not ready for humans who had trained for this moment for 3,000 years. Room by room, level by level, the station fell. In space, the Council's fleet was breaking apart. Ship after ship surrendered or fled. The rebels showed no mercy to those who had oppressed them for so long. But the humans held back, preventing massacres. We're better than them, Admiral Blake reminded her forces. We want justice, not slaughter. The fighting reached the Council chambers. Maria's Marines breached the massive doors. Inside, they found the Council members cowering. The 3 High Arbiters stood in the center, finally facing the consequences of their actions. You've destroyed the peace, the Zephyrian cried. The galaxy will burn because of you. Maria removed her helmet, showing her scarred face. The galaxy burned because of you. How many worlds? How many children? How many futures did you steal? The crystalline spoke more calmly. We did what was necessary. Without control, without order, chaos reigns. Without freedom, nothing grows, Maria replied. You kept the galaxy in chains because you feared change, but change came anyway. We are that change. The temporal stepped forward. We can see futures even now. If you destroy us, wars will come. Species will fight. Empires will rise and fall. Good, Maria said simply. That's called life. That's called growth. That's called freedom. The arbiters were arrested. The council members were detained. In 6 hours, the battle was over. The Galactic Council, which had ruled through fear, for 10,000 years fell in a single day. But Blake had planned for more than military victory. As soon as the station was secure, she broadcast to the entire galaxy. Citizens of all worlds, the Galactic Council has fallen. For too long, they controlled your fates. They decided who lived and who died. They kept you weak, afraid, stagnant. That ends today. She paused, looking at the cameras. Humanity proposes a new alliance, not based on fear but on mutual respect, not controlling growth but encouraging it. Every species will have a voice. Every world will choose its own path. The age of tyranny is over. The age of freedom begins. The response was immediate. World after world declared independence from the old order. Species that had been kept apart made contact. Trade routes opened. Scientific knowledge was shared. Within a year, the galaxy transformed. The new Galactic Alliance formed, with humanity as a founding member. But humans did not rule. They guided. They helped. They protected. But every species was equal. The trials of the council leaders lasted months. The evidence was overwhelming. 17 species destroyed. Countless others oppressed. Technological progress halted for millennia. The arbiters were sentenced to exile on a remote world, their powers stripped away. They would live knowing what they had done, watching the galaxy flourish without their control. The Zerathi Empire was dissolved. Their worlds were freed. Their slaves liberated. Vextor and his commanders faced trial too. But humanity showed mercy. They were sentenced to help rebuild what they had destroyed. On the anniversary of Earth's destruction, now called Remembrance Day, Admiral Blake retired. She stood on the observation deck of New Earth Station, a massive space city built where Earth once orbited. Jack Morrison joined her. He was an admiral now too, commanding one of the defense fleets. Was it worth it? Lisa Carter asked. She had become governor of New Sydney Colony. All the centuries of preparation, all the lives lost. Blake looked at the stars. Ships from 100 species moved peacefully among them. Ask me in another 3,000 years. When the galaxy has learned that actions have consequences, when tyrants think twice before destroying worlds, when the strong protect the weak instead of crushing them. She smiled, a real smile this time. They burned our Earth, but we didn't just survive. We became something better. We became hope for the oppressed. We became fear for the tyrants. We became the guardians of freedom. In the years that followed, the galaxy bloomed. Science advanced. Art flourished. Species that had been enemies became friends. Wars still happened. Freedom meant the freedom to make mistakes. But no single power controlled everyone's fate. Earth was gone forever. But its legacy lived on in every free world, every liberated species, every child who grew up without fear of judgment from above. Humanity had turned its greatest tragedy into the galaxy's greatest liberation. The stars shone brighter now, each one representing a world free to choose its own destiny. And among them all, the sons and daughters of Earth stood watch, not as conquerors, but as guardians, not as rulers, but as equals, forever ready to defend freedom, forever remembering the price of tyranny. The phoenix had risen from the ashes, and the galaxy would never be the same.